Everyone is wired their own way. And some people are wired towards blondes, brunettes, big women, skinny women, various ethnicities. I'm wired towards older women.
Kyle Jones, 32, says that everyone is wired differently, and he admits he isn't wired to women his own age. He prefers them really old. The man who defines himself a cougar hunter is taking it to extremes with his latest girlfriend, Marjorie, a grandma who's 92 years old. It may sound bizarre to you, but then again, to each his own, and Kyle has made his choice and was happy with it too. For Kyle, it's all about gray hair and wrinkles, which he finds beautiful. Perhaps it's the maturity that counts for something, and the fact that older women know exactly what they want without beating around the bush. Kyle met Marjorie in a bookshop where she was working in 2009 and asked for her number. A few days later, they were dating, and the relationship clicked. Or booked, or checked out, or scheduled for pickup.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for y'all that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
Sun Mingming and Xi Yan.
Sun and Xu, congratulations, as your record for the tallest married couple will feature in the new Guinness World Records 2016 edition.
Sun Mingming from China is the tallest basketball player in the world. So when you're that tall, what do you do for a partner? Well, it's simple, really. You find a woman as tall as yourself, don't you? That's exactly what Sun Mingming, 33, did. When Sun met a female basketball player, Xi Yan, 29, at the National Games of China in 2009, he proposed. For the giant couple, it was love at first sight, and they were soon married in Beijing in 2013. With Sun Mingming standing 236.17 centimeters tall and his wife Xi Yan at 187.3 centimeters tall, the couple made it to the Guinness Book of World Records as the tallest couple in the world, with a combined height of 423.47 centimeters between them. Oh man, that's tall. Gabriela and Victor Peralta. Gabriela, 42, and Victor Peralta, 43, from Buenos Aires, Argentina, are a couple who found something in common. Both are obsessed with body modifications and tattoos. Oh my gosh, they are. Between them, they have a whopping 77 bodily modifications that include 50 piercings, 4 microdermals, 4 ear expanders, 2 ear bolts, and 1 forked tongue. Well, that was a bit too much to digest now, wasn't it? Oh, and yes, they're also plastered in tattoos. Their mutual love for body art has even earned them a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most modified married couple in the world. While Victor's body is covered in 90% of tattoos, Gabriela has 65% of her body covered in them. The couple, who've been together for 13 years, feel they're perfect for one another. Well, if the ink's dried, it must be official. Bad joke. Mindy Niss and Sean Stevenson.
Sean Stevenson and Mindy Niss are just like any other married couple.
Would you consider being in a relationship with a disabled person? It could be quite a challenge, but not for Mindy Niss. Mindy, 36, is a beautiful woman from Arizona who traveled to Chicago to be with husband Sean Stevenson, 35. Sean suffers from a disability called osteogenesis imperfecta, a rare condition that makes his bones weak. Sean is immobile and moves with the help of a wheelchair, but that didn't stop Mindy from agreeing to marry him. While Sean is just 81 centimeters, that's 2 feet 8 inches tall, Mindy is 121 centimeters, or 4 foot 11 inches tall, nearly twice his size. The couple are both motivational speakers, while Sean is also a therapist and self-help author. Mindy says the couple leads an active and happy married life. Well, good for them. More power to ya. You go, girl. Y'all do the right thing. I could go on and on. Paulo Gabriel da Silva Barros and Katucia Lee Hoshino. Why are you giving me names I can't pronounce?
Basicamente, é casal normal, só a estatura pouco menor.
Love knows no bounds, and not always do looks matter. Here's a couple who's made for each other. As you can see, it's the world's shortest couple, as declared by Guinness Book of World Records. where Paulo Gabriel da Silva Barros, 31, met 28-year-old Catuccia. See, I'm not going to say her last name because I'm going to butcher it. He said it was love at first sight. The couple, who are from Brazil, tied the knot last September and were declared the world's shortest couple soon after. While Paulo is 90.28 centimeters, Catuccia is 91.13 centimeters, giving them a combined height of just 181.14 centimeters, enough to clinch the title. The couple met through defunct social media platform Orkut, I guess, in September 2006, and after a long-distance relationship for 2 years, they finally met in December 2008, and it was love. At short sight? How'd they do that? Oh, shut up. Annalisa and David Hackelman.
My name is Annalisa, and I am a bearded lady.
My name is David, and I'm in love with the bearded lady.
As far as the oddest couples go, these two won't disappoint you, and yet they're so much in love too. Meet the bearded couple Annalisa and David Hackelman. Yes, you heard right, the bearded couple. Annalisa Hackelman was diagnosed with polycystic ovary syndrome, a rare hormonal condition that caused her to grow hair at a rapid pace all over her face and body. Suffering depression and trying to manage her hair growth by shaving twice a day, Lisa was fighting a losing battle and developed agoraphobia, the fear of being in situations where escape might be difficult. But when she met David, the love of her life, everything changed and took a turn for the better. Annalisa, who works as a photographer, says it was David who helped her through her crisis and made her feel comfortable with her looks. Now she doesn't shave anymore. Now that's true love for you. Senele Mazilela and Helen Shabungu.
Babyface Sanel Masilela was just 8 years old when he made headlines around the world.
Here is one bizarre couple if there ever was one. Sanela, an 8-year-old boy, married a 62-year-old woman. Sounds weird? Well, it sounds like rape in our country. Well, the couple says ghosts made them do it. Of course, ghosts made them do it. Senele Mazalela and mother of 5 Helen Shabunga are from South Africa. The couple were married in a large ceremony with more than 100 guests present. The boy claimed that the spirit of his dead grandfather told him to do it. The boy said that the deceased grandfather told him he was in love with Helen and asked the boy to marry her on his behalf. Among tribes in South Africa, such a superstition is taken seriously, and to not offend the spirit world, Senele was hooked up with a woman most probably older than his grandma. I feel bad even reading about this. Anton Kraft and China Bell.
52-year-old Anton Kraft is just 4'4" tall.
Take a look at one of the most unusual couples in the world. Anton Kraft is a dwarf bodybuilder, standing 4 feet 4 inches tall. The love of his life is China Bell, a transgender woman from Florida who's 6 feet 3. Believe it or not, but Anton Kraft, originally from Denmark, is the only man to lift 4 times his body weight and can be well regarded as the strongest man in the world. The dwarf bodybuilder has lifted as much as 504 pounds. That's a lot. Kraft says he only dates women taller than himself and has been having a long relationship with China Bell. Bell, at 6 feet 3, is 43 years old. She was born a man and has since transformed. China says she was not sure about Anton at first, but was quickly bowled over. Emily Jennings and Sean.
I haven't had luck with boyfriends before, and finally there's this guy who fancies me as much as I fancy him.
It's true when they say love is blind, and the finest example of that is the couple Emily Jennings and Sean. Emily Jennings, 25, suffers from obesity and even resorted to self-harm many times because of being shamed by her body size. Facing constant bullying, her size 30 frame was the cause of her depression until Sean stepped into her life and changed everything. The couple met via a video game platform in 2008 and were married on a beach after dating online for 9 years. Unlike Emily, Sean is slim, but the couple couldn't care less for what people think of them. For them, it's only love that matters. Jaylor Cooper and Josie Briggs. Would you allow children to get married? Certainly not, but when the circumstances are right, it can't be helped. This is certainly the most heartwarming and beautiful couple on this list. In 2009, 9-year-old Jaylor Cooper was suffering from leukemia and had 2 weeks to live. For 2 years, she lived at the Children's Medical Center for Cancer and Blood Disorders in Dallas, Texas. In those moments of despair, Jaylor made a friend in another leukemia patient, Josie Briggs, when he was 5. A terminally ill Jaylor expressed as her dying wish to get married, and who better to be her husband than friend Josie, now 7. The couple were married on a Sunday in front of family and friends. There were no legal papers involved, and the ceremony was just symbolic, as a wish fulfilled for a dying Jaylor. Peter, Paul, and Maria. Who says a couple needs to be just 2? Here's a couple that's 3. Husband, wife, and husband. Meet Peter, Paul, and Maria. Maria Butsky went against all norms of society when she established a relationship with her husband and her ex, too. For Maria Butsky, life was incomplete without 2 men in her life. While married to husband Paul, she just couldn't do without ex-lover.
10. Britain's youngest mother, 12 years. If you thought young girls getting pregnant before the age of 18 was shocking, get ready to hear about Britain's youngest mother. In 2014, the world was introduced to the youngest parents in Britain, the 12-year-old mother and her 13-year-old boyfriend. This 12-year-old girl and her boyfriend had been together for over a year when it was reported that the young mother was pregnant with her first child. According to reports, the girl got pregnant when she was just 11 years old. When the news broke out in Britain, the father of the 12-year-old mother made a comment that shocked many people. He said how he was glad to hear about the pregnancy because at least his daughter wasn't doing drugs. I would have rather had come home and had this than find out she was on drugs at 11 or 12. Number 9. The Missouri mother, 11 years. News broke out in early 2020 when a baby boy was rushed to the hospital with its umbilical cord and placenta still attached to its body. The newborn was taken to the hospital by a father who had claimed the boy was his. It was only after a thorough investigation was conducted that it was revealed the mother of the young boy was actually the man's daughter, the 11-year-old mother who was raped by her 17-year-old brother, and the girl had apparently given birth in a bathtub. Officials and police later questioned the girl's parents, who had denied any knowledge of sexual abuse. Police later arrested both parents and the young girl's 17-year-old brother, who was charged with rape and sexual abuse. As far as the young girl goes, according to reports, she is staying at a relative's house far away from her abusers. Number 8. Samantha Goodman, 10 years. In 2003, 10-year-old Samantha Goodman gave birth to a baby girl. The Zimbabwe native was just a child herself when she gave birth to her 6-pound baby girl named Courtney. When Samantha turned 16, she opened up about her pregnancy and her delivery. According to the young mother, she was at a friend's house when she and a close friend were playing hide and seek. They had stumbled upon an adult book in the library and had some funny pictures in them. We thought it would be funny that we were trying to do it. We did it. It was funny, said Samantha. It was only after her mother noticed her big belly that she realized the 10-year-old was actually pregnant. And according to the 16-year-old, childbirth was less painful than the time she broke her arm. Number 7. May Numby, 10 years. In 2015, 10-year-old May Numby was taken to the hospital by her mother because she believed her daughter had an abdominal tumor. It was only after they arrived at the hospital and did an ultrasound that the doctors found out the 10-year-old was 5 months pregnant. The doctors and nurses at the hospital quickly called the authorities to report this unusual case. Police later found out that the father of the baby was May Numby's 42-year-old stepfather, who tried to escape the country, but was later arrested at the border. He denied any accusations of sexual abuse, but the DNA paternity test revealed that the baby was in fact his. Both mother and stepfather were charged and arrested for negligence and sexual abuse of the 10-year-old mother, May Numby. Number 6. Layla Mafi, 9 years. In November of 1994, a 9-year-old Iranian girl named Layla Mafi gave birth to her first child. 5 years later, at the age of 14, she gave birth to twins. According to the information gathered by the nonprofit human rights organization Amnesty International, Layla had been prostituted by her mother ever since she was 8 years old. The unbelievable trauma led the young mother to be developmentally delayed. According to her doctors, when she was assessed at the age of 19, she was diagnosed to have a mental age of an 8-year-old. In 2006, Layla was sent in a rehabilitation center and is now living in an apartment with a caretaker. Number 5. Daphne, 9 years. On January 27, 2013, the director of the Zaquin Hospital reported that a 9-year-old girl had given birth to a healthy baby girl. The mother, named Daphne, had apparently gotten pregnant from her 17-year-old boyfriend. When Daphne gave birth, the officials started looking for her boyfriend, who was said to be charged for having sexual relationships with a young girl. But this particular case of Daphne is quite interesting, as officials soon started doubting the real age of the young mother. Rumors started to spread that Daphne was actually 15 years old when she gave birth, and the father was not her 17-year-old boyfriend, but rather her 44-year-old stepfather. No matter what the true age was, we can all agree it's always shocking to hear about such a young mother. Number 4. Hilda Trujillo, 8 years old. In 1957, it was reported by Time magazine that a 9-year-old child had given birth to a healthy baby girl. The article named Little Mother explained how a young girl visited the Lima Maternity Hospital, where she gave birth to a 9-pound girl. It was later corrected that Hilda Trujillo, the young mother, was 8, not 9. On December 2, 1957, the Peru native gave birth to her first child named Maria del Rosario. Officials soon found out that the father of Maria was actually Hilda's 22-year-old cousin. The unnamed cousin was staying with Hilda's family in a one-room apartment when the boy raped the 8-year-old girl. The cousin was later arrested and put in prison on several charges, including having sexual relations with a minor. Number 3. The unnamed girl, 8 years old. In early September of 2004, one Colombian policeman noticed a little girl walking by with a huge belly. At first, the policeman thought the little girl was part of a drug smuggling scheme, but it was later revealed that the 8-year-old was actually pregnant. The young girl was taken to the hospital. She had x-rays and blood tests done, which confirmed that the 8-year-old Colombian girl was 32 weeks pregnant. When officials asked the girl how this happened, they confessed how a pharmacy employee had raped her. The young girl was sent out to get her sick mother's medicine when the employee sexually assaulted her. The young mother remains unnamed, but local publications reported that she had given birth to a baby boy at the Messine Hospital. Number 2. Liza Yelizaveta Pentueva. In 1934, in the cold winter nights of Russia, a 6-year-old girl gave birth to her first child. Liza Yelizaveta Pentueva was only 5 years old when her 70-year-old grandfather sexually assaulted and impregnated her. When the family found out the girl was pregnant, they decided to go through with the pregnancy. Back in the day, cesarean or C-sections were considered to be extremely dangerous, and the 6-year-old girl was forced to have a natural birth. Unfortunately, the infant girl died during labor because of a placenta complication, but according to the doctors, the child could have been a healthy baby if the complications hadn't occurred. Number 1. Lena Medina, 5 years old. If you weren't disturbed by our list of young mothers by now, then get ready to hear about the truly shocking Lena Medina, who is the youngest mother in the world. In 1939, Lena was only 5 years and 7 months old when she gave birth to a baby boy named Gerardo. At first, Lena's parents had taken her to the hospital because they noticed her abdomen getting unusually large. The parents had suspected a tumor, but it was later revealed Lena was actually 5 months pregnant at the time. The Peru native had apparently gone through precocious puberty, which meant she had developed earlier than her peers. Police arrested Medina's father on suspicion of abuse, but he was later let go due to a lack of evidence. To this day, no one really knows who impregnated 5-year-old Lena, who became the youngest mother in history. And with that, we end